Online students, everyone can hear me now? Could you please confirm? Okay, guys. So in the last class, we are discussing about the RNN and LSTM, right? So let us continue from there and let us try to cover today this LSTM theory and along with the coding part. Now, as I have told you, in the RNN, we require the sequential order. So what are the sequential order they have given to us? In the same sequential order, we have to maintain, right? So the neural network, what are the neural network we are using inside the RNN? The neural network whichever we are using in the RNN, within the RNN model. So here, it has to predict the next one, means it will store the previous one, the previous output. One step back on it is going to store, and already I have discussed with you vanishing gradient and exploiting gradient. Up to here we have discussed, and I have stopped here exactly, right? Now let us continue from here. Now, so just before moving on to further, just I want to tell you here the RNN. What are the RNN network is that? That is recurrent neural network. Recurrent. What is the meaning of recurrent? Means having the same thing. So which we call it as recurrent neural networks works on the concept called as recursive function. Okay. Recurrent neural networks. What are the recurrent neural networks are there? Recurrent neural networks works on concept called recursive. Recursive. Now, what is meant by recursive? Recursive means repeating the same. Okay, recursive meaning is repeat. Okay, it is some kind of loop. By taking the new value and doing the loop, similar kind of for loop, repeating. It is recursive means basically repeating. So, best example for recursive function is, okay, the best example for recursive function is factorial function. Factorial. So for example, if you ask n factorial, n into n minus 1 factorial. So if I say factorial, what is factorial means? Again, in the answer also you are saying the factorial. Question is only factorial. What is factorial? Answer should be the meaning of factorial, but the formula will consist of what? Factorial of, again, that same thing. So here it is getting repeated. The function is getting repeated internally itself. So here this is called as factorial function. Now this function will continue till where, miss? Till you get the n is equal to 2. N minus 1 is, should be equal to 1. So now, for example, defer factorial. What are the factorial of n? Okay, if n is equal to 1, in that case, it has to return the 1. Okay, directly it has to return the output 1. Elif, if n is greater than 1, and that too, the type of, what are the type of n is that? Type of n should be only int. It cannot be anything else, only int. If the type of n is int, and that too, if n value is equal to 1, return 1. Elif, if the value is greater than 1, then return n into fact of n minus 1. That is the code. Point is clear? Now, when you have created a function like this, assume here I have asked the fact of 3. Now tell me what it is going to return. So this is the function I have created. For the function, everything has to return. Now what it is going to return basically means the output of this one. First it will check n is int type. Okay. 3 is equal to 1. No. So 3 is greater than 1. So it is going to return the n into fact of n minus 1. That is, it is going to return 3 into fact of 2. Now again 2 will call now. Fact means again function. Function again it will call. So it will call the function and again it is going to return the 3 into 2 into fact of 1. And whenever the 1, it is 3 into 2 into 1, which is equal to 6. When you are calling one function, internally same function is getting called instead of calling the other function. Sir, what is the difference between the function calling versus recursive calling means? For example, see here. I have created one add function, def of a comma b, return a plus b. I am creating one more function called as def srk of c. In this, I am going to create n is equal to c plus add of a comma b. Okay, c is equal to add of a comma b, or here I'll call with the ABC. This function I'll create, SRK function I'll create with ABC, A comma B comma C. And this is A comma B and C is equal to, and return the n value. Return n value. Okay, now I'm going to call only one function called as 1 comma 2 comma 3. What is the output of this one, guys? 1 comma 2 comma 3. If I call this one, this is the function created, okay, defined, and I'm calling the function. When I call SRK123, what is the output? SRK123 means A will be considered as 1, B is 2, C is 3, and N is equal to, that is 3 into add of A comma B. Add of A comma means this function will call. That is nothing but 1 plus 2. So 3 into 3, that is 9. It is going to return the 9. So internally of SRK, which function you have called? Same function or different function? A different function you have called. This concept is called as function calling or functional programming. Means within the function, one more function. For example, int of float of 20.9 float of true. If I write like this, what is the output? So true means 1, float of 1 means 1.0. For 1.0, int means output is finally 1. So what it is going to do, first this function will be completed. Internally, another function is completed. So same way, this function I am calling, internally this function is working. So this concept is called as functional programming. There is no problem in the functional programming. What is the specialty of the recursive function? Means what are the function you have created now, that function only you will use inside also. Same function you are using inside. When you are using the same function inside, then it is called as recursive function. The function name, whatever you have created, if you are using the same function internally, it is called as recursive. That is the difference between a normal general functioning versus a recursive function. Point is clear? Now, if you observe in the factorial function, what are the factorial function I have created? I am creating only now. While creating itself, when I am creating this one, before in the separate cell I am creating means no. In the same cell, what are the code I am writing? If n is equal to 1, return the 1, return 1, yes, return n into fact of n minus 1. So this function was created just now. Inside the same function only, again I am using the same function one more time. This type of functions only called as recursive functions. Like other type of other than factorial function is like Fourier transforms, Laplace transforms. In the maths we used to have now. Okay, so these type of functions are called as recursive. So this neural network will work based on the recursive concept, means taking that value and again providing the same value like that. Okay, so what are the neuron? It will give the output, and that output again will be used as the input. Is obviously to the next neuron. Obviously to the next neuron only. So whatever the output it has created, that output will be again used as the input for the next neuron. Again output will be used as the input for the next neuron. Output again. Now how many, sir, even in the ANN also, this will take the input and this will give the output. This output is equal to input for the next neuron, no sir. Same logic only, no sir. Then what is the difference? In normal neural network also, output of one neuron is the input of another neuron. Then what is the specialty of RNN is? But this output, what are the output of one neuron is not only input for this neuron, it is input for this neuron, input for this neuron, input for another neuron also. For multiple neurons, it is going to be the input. But whereas recurrent neural network will be the input only for the another one neuron. Point is clear? So, see, in a simple way, I'm going to say, tomorrow we are going to discuss sequential data for the text. Now I have told this one to every person or to single person. Now every person is receiving this information. In this class, how many students are there? Everyone. Instead of sharing to every person, I have shared to one of the student only. One of the student, I told that tomorrow we are going to discuss text sequential. Ask other students, don't miss. I have shared to how many? Only one student in the entire class. That student is going to share to his friend, to one student only in the class. That student will share and to one student only in the class. Now this is the order it is going to follow. Then this type of neural network is called as a recurrent neural network. Point is clear? Everyone understood the logic? Now recurrent neural networks, what is the problem with the recurrent neural networks? Anyone can tell me what is the problem with the recurrent neural networks, miss? Anyone? From your perspective, what is the problem with the recurrent neural networks? Can you? Yeah. So whatever this neuron is going to process the information, it will just depend on one step back. Just it depends only on one step back. Your starting neuron, it will not consider into the input. Sir, explain with a simple example. Now, according to you, tell me guys, TCS is a good company or bad company? I will ask a simple question. TCS is a good company or bad company? Good company. If you are having the money with you, are you going to invest in that? Assume this is the only company. If you are having other companies comparison and best company, you will invest. That is not the case. Only TCS. If I ask a directly straight question, are you interested to invest in TCS? Yes or no, miss? Many people in India will be interested to invest the money in the Tata companies without comparison. With comparison, sir, I can find the better opportunity. Nowadays, some other companies are performing very good than TCS. That is secondary. I'm not comparing. Without comparison, only TCS is good or bad, miss? TCS is good, generally. Now, instead of that one, for example, last quarter miss, last 3 months. In the last 3 months, what are the TCS is there? TCS is not performing very well. Not performing. Sir, how you know it is not performing, miss? They will share the results, na? Miss, what is the profit they have got? How much amount of profit? If the company is making too much of profits, if we are also investing in that company, they will grow, we will grow. For example, a company is not making the profits and we have invested. Finally, what happens to that company, miss? It will close. Automatically, our money also will be closed. For example, Zomato is there in the market. You have invested in the Zomato. Zomato, for example, Zomato people, what they have told is, array, we are having 1 crore. We have invested in the Zomato and yearly we are making the 20 lakhs profit. Zomato has told. Now, what I will say, okay, I will also invest 10 lakhs in your company. Okay, for 1 crore, you are getting 20 lakhs now. In the same ratio, you can share me only 2 lakhs. Ratio will be the same. For 1 crore, you are getting 20 lakhs. For 10 lakhs, I will invest and you give me 2 lakhs. Now, if this company is making for 1 crore only 30 lakhs profit, then now how much amount I am going to get by investing 10 lakhs? Automatically, I will get the 3 lakhs. If the company is getting for 1 crore only 4 lakhs, or sorry, 40 lakhs, then how much amount I will get for my 10 lakhs? My profit also increases. If they are increasing, I will increase. If they are dropping, I will drop. Now, one day what happened? They have invested what are the 1 crore? One day they have done with only 1 lakh profit. They only got 1 lakh profit. Now, I have invested 10 lakhs now. For my 10 lakhs now, what is the profit amount is going to be? Only 10K. Automatically according to this ratio. Okay. So, what are the money I get into 10 times they will get, because the investment is also 1:10. So now automatically, now I am going to get like this. Next they told that Array, today for 1 crore, we are getting only 50,000 is the profit. Now what happens? For my 10 lakhs, what will be the profit now? Automatically, it is going to be dropped to 5K. Now, when the company's profit is decreasing, automatically my profit also decreases. If the company's profit increasing, my profit also increases. Simple logic. For investment, a simple basic logic. Basic. It is not depend only on the single parameter. It depends on the multiple parameter. What is the reputation and what is the name, and so many parameters are there. Just for understanding student point of view, I'm saying. Okay, if the company's growth is very high, miss, we will also grow. If the company falls, miss, we will also fall. Simple. Now, point is very simple. Now, why I have told you this concept here, miss? For example, TCS is not performing well in the last 3 months, and they told that growth is not there. Okay, every year they are increasing the money by 10%. But suddenly they are saying that this year we are not going to increase 10%, we'll increase only 2%. From 10%, they have dropped to 2%. Now, what we'll think? This company is performing good or bad? Miss, okay, this company is not performing good. So suddenly their profits are dropped. Now, TCS not in the market, a good one. Earlier, when the Ratan Tata is there only, it is a good one. Now it is not performing that much of great. So we'll remove the money and we'll remove the investment from the TCS company. Okay. Now it is just depending only on the 1 quarter results. Now some people, okay, last quarter, as I've told you now, company is not performing well. Now you are having the 2 options with you. Option number 1 is to come out of the company. Because the company is not performing, right? Come out of company. Means what are your investment is that take your investment back and come out of the company. Second, believe the company presently it is not doing good. Maybe in the future it will good and keep the as is, hold. Believe and hold that one. Means keep as is your money without taking out. What you will do out of these 2? If this is the case. You already invested in the TCS. Assume you already invested some money, X money, X amount you have already invested. Now tell me, what you are going to do in this case? Are you going to come out of the company when the performance is not good, or you are going to hold? How many people are going to come out of the company? Raise your hand. Both offline and online. How many people? Please rise. Raise your hand. Raise your hand or type that in the chat. I will come out. Exit. Something. Exit or hold. 2 options are there. Exit means exit. Hold means hold. Only 2. Right? Yes. I can see here Venkat Nagarjuna come out and Abhinash come out. Shanti Madan come out. Jahnavi exit. Okay, they are also going to come out. And Mayur, Leela Krishna, and Suresh. These 3 people are going to hold. Right? So now can you see the different opinions? Some people are going to exit, some people are going to hold. Now whoever the persons are going to exit from the company now, their brain is RNN. Their brain only is RNN. They will react to the latest one. They will not react by keeping the old scenarios. Okay, this one was performed. Sometimes it was dropped in between. Again, it has raised. Even 2008 crisis also is there in the market. At that time also software jobs, many people has lost in the industry. One particular time we have seen the IT biggest recession. After that again we have seen very high boom. These things they'll forget. What happens latest? Don't tell the 5 years backstory, sir. Tell the last 3 months what happened. I want the latest story. Those people brain works on the RNN. It is not a wrong one. It is not a wrong one. Okay, at the same time, it is not the right one. Because, sir, why it is not a wrong one, why it is not a right one means, as I've told you now, for the given data, never I will depend on the single algorithm. For all the data, we will apply the multiple algorithms, then we'll take the final decision, not based on the single algorithm. RNN says you are bad means, it is not like that. It will never depend on the single one. So we are going to apply the different algorithms and LSTM. Now LSTM will come into picture. RNN problem is this one only. It will just focus only on the latest one. Sometimes RNN is good, sometimes LSTM is good. Which one is good, miss? We have to analyze. We have to apply both of them. This one only is best, I will never say. This one only is best, I will never say. For example, sir, what are the logic you are saying? Hold, assume that this is best option. This might be applicable only for the TCS. This may not be applicable for Zomato. Maybe, may not be. How I can know? I want the data. I'm not say on the based on the purely algorithm wise. For the given data, who is best? Okay. For example, here students are there. Different students are there. Leela Krishna is there. Jahnavi is there. Multiple students are there. Now, those people are attending my classes. They may listen to the online classes also, or they may listen to Udemy courses, or they may listen to YouTube also. Anything wrong is there? Nothing wrong, because finally they are learning the content. Absolutely perfect. Now, which is best? How they are going to conclude? YouTube channel, whatever they are following is best. Or what are the Udemy course they have taken, that is best. Or what are the Naresh IT course they have taken, this is best. How they are going to decide finally? After having the multiple things, they are going to decide. Some students, they will not listen to anything. Directly, only they will listen to the Naresh IT classes. Right? So it's all the based on the data. Data means students here for me. Trainers are models for me. YouTube channel or Udemy course or anything, models for me. For one student, one model will work. For example, Suresh is there. Suresh has taken one of the course at Udemy. In the starting initial days, he has written and he has sent even the link also for us. In the starting days, if I remember, it is Suresh, I'm assuming. Okay. At the time, he has told that go through this one also, something he has shared that one. Now, the same link, if I share for you, you may understand that one, you may not understand that one. He has felt it is good and he has shared to us. Now, for another student, it is good or bad? Miss, when he listens, he may feel good, he may feel bad. For every student, everything will not be apted. So, for every data set, every algorithm may not be apted. Okay. So, here based on the requirement and based on the different models. But only one point I want to highlight clearly is RNN always will focus only on the one step back. The latest answer, whatever you are going to take the decision, your final output will be decided based on one step back. You will not think the long-term dependencies. Without having the long-term dependencies, you are going to have this. That is the difference. Not this Suresh. Oh, you are not. Okay. So he is not the person, it seems. Okay, some other person, maybe. Okay, done. Who are the person? Here, point is important. Sorry, my mistake. If the person name is wrong, done. Now, second, let's move on to the LSTM now. To understand the LSTM, I required one small point. What is the small point? Is everyone has completed your 10th class? 100% in this class, everyone has completed 10th class, right? Now, everyone please write in the notes your 10th class memories. Please. Everyone write in the notes 10th class memories, 1 or 2 memories. Or no need to write, at least recollect. In your brain only you recollect. 10th class. Just I am going to give you 1 minute. Please recollect your 10th class memories, which you have completed only in the 10th class. Not your entire school. Anything, positive, negative, anything, whatever you want. Both positive memories, negative memories, fighting, everything. At that time, spent what are the time you have spent with your families, friends, relatives, that one, this one, anything, whatever you want, but it should be only 10th class. At that time, you have went for vacation with your friends while playing the games with your friends or relatives or something. Good memories, bad memories, any functions. Right? Everyone has recovered. Now, 10th class memories are 10th class means how many days? Obviously 1 year. 1 year means 365 days. If you remove the some holidays, Saturdays, Sundays, everything, if you remove also, minimum you will get 220 days after removing everything. Like summer holidays, if you remove for 2 months also, Saturdays, Sundays, if you remove also, minimum working days will be 220 to 240 in between at least. Okay. So now what are the 220 to 240 working days are there? Now how many days and how many days you have remembered in that entire 1 year? Now in your mind you have recollected na, in the last 1 minute. How many days you have recollected? Your incidents completely, a together of all your incidents, how many days it would be? Every incident will not be on the same day. Na? One incident, one day. Okay. So total how many incidents you have remembered, and that is total how many days it is you have remembered means very less number. Maybe 10 days overall. 10 incidents means 10 days, right? 10 incidents or 5 incidents or 4 incidents or whatever it is. You have remembered say 10. Why you are not able to remember remaining things? That is my question. How your brain knows it is not important. How your brain knows it is important. That is question. My simple question is that. Very simple question. How your brain knows it is important for you. Point is simple. Why brain doesn't remember remaining things? It is deleted. Automatically it is deleted from our brain. That is the reason we are not able to recollect. Deleted. How the brain knows it is not important? How brain knows this incident only important, this incident is not important? That is simple question, guys. Anyone? Yeah, based on emotions. No need to tell me the incidents. My question is clear, right? Question is clear. Don't tell me the incidents. Incidents will be funny and everything because that is school days now. Obviously, school days incidents will be obviously so funny. Now, if you recollect me, such a silly things we have done, will feel like that. But okay, done. My question is what? How brain remember? How brain stores that incidents or that memories? Why it will not store other memories? Why it will not store other memories? If you understand this logic, most important point will come here. Most means most. Your entire chat GPT will work on this concept. These we call it as long-term dependencies. How it is going to store them? Based on the highlights or something that is other than normal days. Okay. Yes. Something special other than normal days. How the brain knows it is not normal day? Yesterday is normal day for you or anything special was happened yesterday? It is general. Every day how the life is there. Yesterday also same thing. Anything special was happened yesterday for you? Now, whether your brain is going to remember yesterday's incident after 1 month, today you'll remember because yesterday only it was happened now. These are called as short-term dependencies. Yesterday, whatever you have completed. Exactly on January 23rd, what happened in your life? On Jan 23rd. In your life, any student can say, please don't say that I have got one exam on that day. Any special events are there, means ignore. The students who are not having any special events on January 23rd, can you remember your day of January 23rd today? In this class, any student? No, right? Me also cannot remember. Answer is very simple. Because that day, when what are the regular days we are having, regular days will not remember. Special days only will remember. Okay? So, here the answer is what? As one of the student has told, it is something special to others. Like how we are not having the other days, on that particular instant, we'll have the something special. Now, how the brain knows it is special? That is second question now. For example, today is your birthday. Okay, assume. And in the class, we have celebrated in a grand way. Suddenly, when you have entered into the class, everything was balloons and that one, and your friends has given you the surprise, and you have completely enjoyed. And night also, you have done the party, and you went to the pub, and you have done something in your entire lifetime only. That is the best party you have done today. Assume this. Are you going to remember for the entire lifetime? Yes or no? How the brain knows this one? Point is how the brain knows. This is something different to other parties. How the brain knows. We understand because we are speaking, we are understanding how brain knows. Point is, question is how brain knows. Internally, something is happening specially. What that specialty? Internally, what happens in the body? Means answer is very simple, guys. That is nothing but our at the time of happiness or at the time of sadness or different hormones will be released in the body. A different hormone will be released in the body, and these hormones, what are the hormones it is going to release along with the information? Along with the information, hormone. That in this hormone we call it as activation function, as I've told you, and information is nothing but WI XI plus B. This is information. So our brain, human, I'm saying, from the human point of view, I'm saying, now whenever you are feeling something new, your body will release a different hormone. General laughing is different. Excited very much and getting the laugh is very different. Now when you're doing that one, that information, when it is released with a different hormone, then this data will be gone into different part of your brain. It will not go to the general part of your brain. That concept, if you understand this, I can explain this one very clearly now. See, observe this one. Here, this is our LSTM. Basically, this is a single neuron. One single neuron. Okay. By seeing this one, don't unnecessarily get confused now itself. I will explain in detail. This is data. What is data means? Today's data. Assume today is your birthday. As earlier I told you one example now. Today is your birthday and that birthday is getting celebrated in a different way. Completely. Which you have not even expected. One of the best one. Your heart is full of happiness. Okay, enjoying. Now, what are the data you are going to send this one? This data already before this party starts, what are the previous, your brain will be there now. This is your previous data. In your brain, what are the previous data is there? This one. Now, these two will go. Now, automatically, when your special hormone release into the body, this data, instead of going here, it will go to here. Okay, it will ignore this one and it will go to the second one. Our regular days are there, regular days is this one. Sir, what is this one, sir? So our regular data means what are the information I am saying right now. Okay, if you are feeling excited, okay, sir, LSTM is very nice, sir. If you feel like that, now what I am explaining for you it will go in another part of your brain. If you are not feeling as an excitement, this is also one of the topic. Like earlier, how sir has explained for loop and while loop, it is also one of the topic. If you feel like that, now it will go to the forget gate layer. This is called as forget gate. First, what is the first one? We call it as forget. First one is forget. So that is the reason whatever we discuss, first we will forget unless it is important. Whatever it goes to our brain, first step is what? Forget. Not important, remove it. It should not forget. It should not remove and it should not forget. Means the only option is sigma WXI plus B. What are the values then? This value should be very high. When this value will be very high means that when it will be very high means here the weight is there. If the weight is very high, automatically the multiplied value will be very high. This weight only your happiness or your hormones. So now when you are having this more things automatically, instead of going into the forget, it will go to the memory storage. And this is called as long-term memory. This is short-term memory. Short-term memory means what happened yesterday, you are able to remember, right? This one. Here your present value is there. Yesterday's complete. Yesterday morning to yesterday evening, what you have done? Just recollect. Yesterday morning to yesterday evening, what you have done. Right? Now, what are you going to tell me now? That is here as of now. 10 days back, what you have done? That is here. Point is clear? This is short term. This is long term. Same information you can send to the short term. That information instead of short term to long term also you can send. To send into the long term, what we require is high weights. Point is clear? Understood? Forget about the sigma, tan, h. This max I will explain later. Concept wise, how our body works, I am explaining. Okay. So, every trainer will commonly say one point. What is that point is called as focus. Okay. What are the concepts we are explaining? Please focus, they'll say. What is meant by focus, you know? What are your ears and what are the eyes you are seeing? Both has to send the same information to your brain without thinking any other thing. Now you are seeing my face. You are seeing the PDF and you are seeing the what I am explaining. Okay. But internally also you may think others. You may think of your room or you may think of our something outside things. Now that information you are sending to the brain. My notes also you are sending to the brain. Now, what are the my notes you are sending to the brain? It will not store properly. When you are trying to send others information also, other than class notes, right now your brain is thinking some, because from morning to evening, your work will be there, your personal life is there. In your personal life, some incidents will be there. That one also will come into your brain now. This is our human brain. It will automatically work with multiple things. When it is trying to think, as of now, when I'm explaining, I'm also thinking something. In my personal life, some incidents will be there, right? That one also I'm also thinking. Now, when I'm thinking in that way, focus will not be there. When I'm not going to think that one completely, perfect focus will come. When perfect focus will come, automatically the different neurons, hormones will be released in the body. And that will be stored in the long term. Okay. Sir, could you explain in a simple way? Very, very simple way. See, everyone has, I think you have identified this one in your real life. When there is an exam, final exam, like your BTech or semester exams will be there, right? Now, whenever there is a SEM exam, for example, 2 days before, okay, we can't even complete the 5 units or these many pages also will not complete. But one night before, we'll complete so many things. Exactly on the day morning of the exam, we will complete so many things. For example, exam is 2 o'clock, 2 to 5 o'clock. Now morning we have to prepare. At that time, how many pages we are going to complete? The same number of pages are going to come. For example, I am preparing from 9 to 1. In 4 hours, I will complete around 100 pages I have covered. Assume. In 4 hours, I have completed 100 pages. In the ended 2 days also, I will not cover the 100 pages. But exam before, we will complete the more number of pages. How it is possible? At that time, what happens to our brain? That one only is important concept. So this logic, how the human brain works, they have converted as a concept here, and that concept only we call it as LSTM. Basically. Okay, this is the invention. This is the invention. So we require the long-term. Now, if you open the ChatGPT and if you type some question, after certain questions also, your first question still it will remember. And it will say that already asked this question and here this one, it will say. How? That is only called as long-term dependencies. It is going to store the every information. Right? Now, so here, what are the data I'm going to forward? So this HT minus 1 is called as previous short-term output. And it is going to give the output. This output will be given to the next neuron. for next neuron, this will be the input and this is going to be the input. Continuation. Only difference is, observe this clearly. In our RNN, we are going to give the input and it is going to share this process and it will give the output. Again, it is going to give the input and it will the process. Now, this neuron, what are the recurrent neuron? How many inputs it is going to collect? 2 inputs. How many output it is going to give? 1 output. So, recurrent neuron will take the 2 inputs. One is previous. This previous we call it as HT minus 1. The output is HT and this is XT. And what are it is going to do now? Short term. Basically, it is short term. Now, in the LSTM, what happens means same input, but additional to this, 2 you are going to get. One is called as short term, one is long term. Output also 2 you will get. One is long term and one is short term. Automatically, in the next neuron, this will be continued and along with the new one, output. Only difference here is here 1 output, here 2 outputs. One is short-term output, one is long-term output. Only difference is that. Remaining everything is same. Additional, we are having the long-term. In the long-term, all the memories will not be stored. In the long-term, only certain things will be stored. Certain things will not be stored. Right? So, like having some kind of almara in our home. And in the almara, we have, locker. In the locker, we are going to keep something. In the locker, we will not keep something. What we are going to keep in the locker means, which are most valuable, we are going to keep. Which are not most valuable, it will be kept outside. Same logic. Everyone is clear? Now, let's go into the step by step. Everything. So, this is the neurons. See? Automatically, this output will be shared to the next. This output will be shared to the next to the long term only. What are the output is there? That will be given to the long term as the input, short term as the input. One output is going to be the input for the next neuron. Everyone is clear with this diagram? The neural network. Additional to this is down part is RNN, on the top part is LSTM. Everyone is clear? Yes or no? Now let me explain the maths behind now. Slowly. Earlier I have told you the biologically, means generally how the humans will remember everything. Now, if you want to remember our course, what every day I am explaining for you, in an easy way for the long term, if you want to remember, what you have to do is, you have to feel the excitement that today I have learned something special. Your feeling is not saying internal like that. While learning, okay, when you're sit and while you're going to write the notes or something, if you feel that this concept I have understood, if you feel like that, automatically it will be stored in the long term. Sir has given one work, I have opened the chat GPT, copied there, pasted here, shift enter, output is there, I completed. Then it will be stored in the short term. Now you want to store in the long term or you want to store in the short term, it purely depends on you. In what way you are processing the data. With heartfulness, temporary purpose. 2 different things. Heart and temporary both will not be the same. Never it will be the same. Cannot be also. Not possible in the real life. Okay. If you give for some people in the IT industry, I'm saying in the real-time example guys. Tomorrow you are going to join the companies, obviously. There you will observe 100% this one. When you assign some work to any person, that person, instead of having the focus on that work, he will temporarily, this person has given one work for me. This one, what is the problem? This one, that one. And they'll open chat GPT or something, and finally they'll try to finish the work for temporary sake. They don't know what is the importance, how this importance will be implied in the real-time interview, and how it is going to step for the future for them in the next company also, they don't want. On that day, work was completed. Project manager is happier for that day. How many days? For that day only. Not even next day also. Today's work is completed. Done. Many people you will observe, 100% you will observe in the company. One person will be there, he will dedicate something. Like in the college, we'll see now. 24 into 7, they will study that. Like that, some people will be there. Now, these people who are working for temporary sake, they will also get the salary hike after 1 or 2 years when they change the company. These people also will get the salary hike once they change in 1 or 2 companies. Only difference is one person from 6 lakhs will go to 9 lakhs. One person directly from 6 lakhs will go to 15 lakhs. How it is possible, miss? His learning is different. This person learning is different. But this person will not accept that one. He will always feel the jealous. Because short-term memory people, short-term memory people will have only short-term memory. They'll always think that hey, this person and I have worked in both the same luck, he got luck. But they'll never accept the way of their learning. Because learning cannot be seen outside now. You will also sit in front of system. I will also sit in front of system. I will also write the notes. You will also write the notes. But how much information was gone to the brain? How we can see that one? It is not visible for us, right? Manually. You know only that SRK sir is spending half an hour in front of laptop only, you know. But that half an hour, how much focus I have done? How much way of learning I have done? You don't know. Other person by keeping the earbuds and he will listen to the songs and he will complete the same work in half an hour also. That half an hour and my half an hour is both are same. How it will be the same? Okay. This is only main important point, guys. Now, as I've told you earlier, the way of learning will change. Okay. So now, as remember, in this class, okay, earlier also I've told you in the previous batch, every time in presently one of the mentor in the Naresh IT, they got the job in the Bangalore. Today they have informed just 10 minutes back only. Okay, in the starting I have on the screen and I went outside, right? At that time, the mentor name is Ramya. She told that I got the job in the bank. Okay, and she's saying that due to your guidance or something and your motivation and making us to make us self-made or something. I told that it is not my guidance. It is purely your work. You are sincerely worked. For many students, I'm training every day. But only certain students will really work and really they'll get the jobs. And when we are discussing each other, she told that other students also has got the jobs or something. Now the point is very simple. Other students or this student or that student, whoever has got the job, that is based on their learning. It is purely based on their learning. For everyone the same PPT, for everyone I am the same trainer, everyone is same. Okay, I have seen in my real life, based on my experience, I am saying, the students who has taken the screenshots and temporarily stored for the temporary purpose, who has learned the course for short term, they have not succeeded in their life. That is my personal experience. Whether you believe or not, I don't know. My personal experience with the students. AI, software developer, both are not same. The way of learning Java course, the way of learning AI course is not the same. Everything will have the different way of approaches. Everything we cannot follow blindly the same approach of one night batting or taking the interview questions and learning by hearting that interview questions, taking the standard interview questions. Everywhere it will not work. In one case it has worked, miss, it is not going to work in every case. Okay. So who are learning for the short term, their requirement is only for short term. I have seen multiple students in this class, okay, whose goal is interview. Whose goal is interview, to get the interview. They will add some kind of fake experience. They'll prepare interview questions. Their goal is to clear the interview only. For some people will be there. Their goal is to get interview. To get interview call. Goal is only interview call, not to get even selected. They get the call only, it's sufficient for them. That is their goal. They'll work only for that. So what they'll do for this, if this is the goal, what they'll do, just they'll change the resume. In the resume, they'll add the fake experience. This is the first step which they'll start. With the fake experience, automatic experience board is there, they'll get the interview course. Their goal is that one only, right? Goal was satisfied. Now next, after getting this goal, now the goal will be changed to clear interview. First goal is what? To get the interview call. Now they'll change the goal. After getting the multiple calls, they'll fail. Now their goal is, I'm getting the cost, but I'm not getting selected. Why, miss? Because you have done this one. Obviously not get selected. Now what is their goal? To get selected. Now what is the solution for this? Solution is prepare interview questions. Take all the interview questions from the Google or somewhere and get maximum number of interview questions with the answers. Interview questions only not sufficient. Answers also. Question, answer. Question, answer. Now, what is their goal? To clear the interview. They will clear, finally. After this goal was set, now they'll enter into the company. Now, what is their goal there? To complete the work. To complete work now. The manager will assign some work because they have already kept the fake experience, right? 2 years or 3 years, something they'll keep. And they'll get the some interview and they'll prepare the interview questions and something. Finally, they'll enter. According to the manager, they're already having the experience. So what they'll feel, this person knows already end-to-end project, everything. And day one itself, they'll assign some project. Without asking any question, they'll assign the project. Now, what is their work? To complete this one. Now, what is the solution? Temporarily, open the ChatGPT. As of now, ChatGPT open. Ask others. If this is also not working, finally, now learn the subject. Endpoint is where it will stop, It will come. Some students starting, some students ending point. Finally, it will come. To complete the entire work on our own, it has to end here only. There is no other option. It has to end. It has to be. And after completing this work temporarily, now what is the goal, Next goal, to get the better job. They will not even join 1 week also with 6 lakhs package. Immediately how to get in the 9 lakhs, 10 lakhs, because they'll speak to their parents, they'll speak to their relatives, and they'll say that today I have got the 6 lakhs package. Means obviously they'll ask, okay, this one. So automatically you'll get the future good package. Now means automatically that will go into the mind. Someone will inject that one. Automatically, my friend is getting this one, my relative is getting this one, that one, this one. Comparison starts, and now I want the 9 lakhs package. Now again, what is the solution for this? For every goal, solution. Now according to that, they'll work. Now, if you start, instead of like this temporarily, instead of that, if you keep a goal that I want to become an entrepreneur or I want to develop on product wise, which will change some completely, which will help for me, miss, the learning will be completely different on the day one. Then all these things are, nothing will be there. Everything automatically happens. And once you join in the company also, rather than their work, we will have the more interest to work. Because we'll be excited to learn. Brain is always asking to learn. The more you learn, the more you earn. Automatically, the brain wants more things. Some students, without learning, they want the money. Some students, by learning, they want the money. Obviously, they will see the difference in their career. All these things, sir, why again you are going with the philosophy class or something? Miss, it is not philosophy or something. Very simple point is your LSTM again. Your long-term memories, short-term memories. You are keeping the short-term goals, long-term goals. Okay, long-term dependencies will always be helpful. Okay, now, so here in this, it is going to work on the gate mechanism. Total 3 gates are there. This is gate number 1, where it is going to forget the information. Means it will not send to the to store that information. You will temporarily see that one, but you will not store. From Naresh IT to while going to your room also, you will observe so many things, but you will not store anything. This will not be stored. Certain things are going to get stored. Which things are going to get stored? This is storage stage, where it is getting stored. Into miss, not stored, plus miss, storing. And then it is going to pass to the next one. So now here, let's observe clearly this. First step, The first step in the LSTM is to identify those information that is not required and thrown away from the cell state. Cell means long-term memory. Cell state is called as long-term memory. Thrown away means it will not be stored in the cell state. This decision is made by the sigmoid layer and we call it as forget gate. So here, what are the information along with the weight? Some weight will be there, right? And here the information along with the weight, it is going to process that information, that is sigma wxi plus b, and it will add the activation function of sigmoid. If the sigmoid has given the output of more than 0.5, because sigmoid is going to give the output as between 0 to 1. If sigmoid has given the output more than 0.5, then that value will go to here. Which value? This value. X of t will go to further. For example, sigmoid has given the value less than 0.5. Now this value, where it will go? To the forget. So, sir, this value will go to the forget or this value go to the remember will be dependent on what? Based on the how much importance you are going to give for that one, for that data. For example, while going downside, okay, offline students, while going from Naresh IT to your room, if you are giving the more importance while observing the shop like that, then automatically that are you going to remember? If you are not giving the importance for that, weight is not there, importance only not there. Whether it will be stored in your brain is no. If you are interested, while going to your room, on the way, you will find the vehicles now. Try to remember 3 to 4 vehicle numbers before you reach your room. At least 3 to 4 vehicle numbers, try to remember. If I say like this, now you are going to observe clearly. Observe. Now you'll automatically see that one. While going to room, just try. Give a try. Automatically, you give the importance to the number. When you have given the importance, what happens? That particular information will have the more weight. Automatically, it will try to store that information. When it is not having the more weight, it will not store the information. Point is clear? That's it. Bharat, that is one important point. How the LSTM knows which is important, which is not, miss? Just multiplication. What are the values you have received? Some values you are going to receive now. That value, you have to apply this one. Here the value is there, right? Value into the weight, value into the weight. Value into the weight. So what are the information you are trying to send to your brain? How much weightage you have given to that value? Means today I am discussing this class now. How much importance you are going to give for me? I mean for the class. If you are giving the more importance for today's class, miss, 100% you will go to your long-term memory. It is also one of the class. Sir will say everything like this only, miss. Forget. 2 ways. How much weightage you are going to provide to the given value. It depends on that. Clear? Understood or not? Yes or no? Everyone. Bharat, now your question is clear? If it is not clear, please ask. Again, I will try to explain. Point is, here for learning the LSTM, yes, we are going to take one project. I will do the one project, obviously. All right. Now, so here, what are the values we are going to give? And these values, whenever the sigmoid gives more than 0.5, now that information will be sent into that. Now, next step is to decide what new information you are going to store in the cell state. The whole process comprises of the following step. One is sigmoid layer called as input gate. Input gate means it is going to send the information. Forget gate. This is forget gate. Now forget. Input gate means now that information will be sent and decides which value to be updated. And next step is stan h creates a vector for the new candidate values that could be added to the state. To which state? Cell state. So now in the cell state, it is going to add the value. Understood or not? Again, your long-term memory. In your brain, long-term memory is there, short-term memory is there. Na? Now, what are the concept I have explained for you? If it is clear, now where it will go? If it is not clear, where it will go? You have given a good weightage. You are focusing. You are trying to understand. You are trying to focus. But while focusing also, this will store only for temporary purpose tomorrow, or it will store for the permanent purpose. Two purposes it will store. Temporary, permanent. Now, if you have understood clearly, and this value has to be where it has to, this whole, that what are the new information? New information means what I am discussing. Where going to the store in the cell state, within the cell state, where it is going to store, whether in the short-term memory or whether it is the long-term memory. And the input gate layer decides the value to be updated. So what are the values there? That value will be decided. Now in this tan H, either it is going to store. Sir, explain the cell once again. Yes. So here, a tan H layer creates a vector of new candidate values that could be added to the state. Means it is going to convert as a tan H function, and the tan H function will give some value. Now, what is the output of tan H function? -1 to +1. And it is going to give some value, right? That value will be added in the long-term memory. That value will be added in the long-term memory. Point is clear? Everyone? Yes or no? Online students, please confirm. Now, first point is, let's take some number here. You only tell me some number. Assume it is 200. Weight. Obviously, we know initial weight will be assigned randomly. Later, back propagation will be applied and it will be updated. Everyone knows now? So, weights means it is not a fixed value. Automatically, here also same back propagation will be done based on the number of epochs. The number of weights will, number of times the weight will be updated. Right? Now, for example, WT, you are having the 4. Previous information is 800. Along with the WT minus 1 is 2. Now, this information plus this information and D. Calculate. Now, after calculating that one, now first you are going to apply the sigmoid. Sigmoid has given the 0.6. 0.6 means more than 0.5 or less than 0.5? More than 0.5. So now this one has to store or delete. Which one has to store? 200. 200 has to store or 200 has to be deleted? Has to be stored. First step is clear. It has crossed the forget gate layer. Up to here, everyone is clear? Online students? Online students, up to here, everyone is okay? Okay. Now, 200 was here. Now, where the 200? It crossed this one. It is not that this one, it has crossed it. Sir, for example, here itself, you got the 0.4, sir. Here itself, you got the 0.4. Now, what happens? The 200 will be deleted. Means it will not think that value is not there. Means this entire neuron, here whatever the 800 is there, 800 will continue with the 800 only. Literally that neuron will not have any importance. Okay, assume here 800 is there, here 1000 is there. And the new value 200 you have sent. Now this new value, what are, see. This is neuron. I told you that total 3 inputs. 200 is the new input. Previous output is 800. Previous output is 1000. Now my 200 is the new input. Now what are the input I have sent? The new 2 outputs you have to receive. Means other than 1000 you have to receive a new number. Other than 800 you have to receive a new number. When you will receive the new number means when this is having the importance. When this is only not having the importance, 1000 is 1000 only, 800 is 800 only. Meaning is this number is not having any importance. No importance is there. Means this where it has went to the forget gate layer. Point is clear? If it is having the importance, for example, this 200 is having the importance, then automatically this 1000 has to be converted as 1100 and this 800 has to be converted as 820. Something number has to change. If the number is changing, means this number is having the importance. If the number is not changing and it is a fixed like this, It is fixed like this. Here 200 also, 1200 also, 12,000 also, no use. Point is clear? Understood or not? Understood or not? Online students, yes or no? Earlier, some student has asked with numbers. Now it is clear that new information, whether it will be used for the processing or whether it will be ignored for the processing. Okay. Now, if it is having the importance with the processing, for example, it is used for the processing, means the output has to change. The output of the LSTM neuron has to change. Then that number is having the importance. That new value is having the importance. Bharat, is your question is clear? Step 1. Now in the step 2, for example, this 200 is there. Now it is having importance. Importance in terms of only long term. For example, long term value was updated, short term was not updated. Now what is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this? In short term, it is not having an importance, but in the long term, it is having the importance. For example, you got the output like this. This is 1000 asterisk. This is 840. Now, what is the meaning of this? It is stored for the short term, but it is not stored for the long term. One value get updated means short term updated. Two values are getting updated means short term, long term are getting updated. None of them getting updated means that is no use. Out of these three, one will happen. Everyone is clear? Understood the logic or not? Okay. Now, yesterday's whatever your entire day is there, the entire this is yesterday. This is yesterday's your work. Yesterday your life. Yesterday your life. It is going to store what are the yesterday's life. It has updated only here, but 1000 is 1000 only. Now, where it has stored? Where your value was stored? Yesterday's entire your day life. Where it was stored means in the short term. It was temporarily updated in the short term. At the same time, for example, 800 is 800 only means yesterday whatever you have done, you have forgot now. Then even it is not even stored also. It is not even stored. Some people will say yesterday what happened is, no sir, I don't remember sir. 1 hour back he has told something now means he told that. Sir, sorry, I don't remember. Something he has told, but I don't remember. 1 hour back only knows. 1 hour back also I have forgot, sir. Why you have forgot? Why you have forgot, miss? It went into the forget rate layer. It has not even stored in the temporary. Some instance will not even store in the temporary. Some instance will not even store in the this long term. Now it is clear, guys. Understood or not? Yes or no? Now what are the new value is there? That new value will see. Read this sentence. The sigmoid layer called the input gate layer decides which value should be updated. Which value means short term value or long term value. Either short term value or long term value. Which value has to be updated? Got it? Clear? Understood the logics, everyone? Now this value will be decided. Now tan h will come. Now what are the tan h will create a new vector and that will be added to the value. So that value, whatever you are having, it will be updated to the short term. At the same time, it will be updated for the long term when tan h has given the positive value. Positive value of tan h will update the long term memory. Tan h negative value will update the short term memory. So literally see here. In our simple words, I'll write like this. If starting what are the sigmoid is there, if sigmoid value is greater than 0.5, else sigmoid value, if the sigmoid value, else means elif, sigmoid value less than 0.5. If sigmoid has given the less than 0.5, forget gate. Activate the forget gate. If sigmoid is 0.5, now you calculate the tan h. If the tan h is greater than 0, update long-term memory. Tan h is negative, update the short-term memory. Simple way. Example purpose, guys. Don't write like this. This is not the back end code. Example only. Pure for your understanding, I have written. Please don't write like this and don't explain like this. For your understanding, I'm saying. Okay. So whenever it process more value, automatically it goes to the long-term memory. And it will process. Sir, what is again process? Sigma WXI plus B. Process means only one thing. So here, as earlier I told you now, 1000 is there, 800 is there, 200 is there. Okay, here the weight is there, here the weight is there, here the weight is there, here also some weight is there. Now, for example, it has to update. Long-term memory means 200 will be multiplied, these two will be combined. Sigma WXI plus B, out of which 1000 into W plus 200 into W plus B. That is a new value. When short-term memory has to be updated, 800 into W, according to what are the W values there here? What are the W value plus 200 into W plus B. 200 is 200 only. Input is input only. Whether that input will be multiplied with the long-term memory, whether it will be multiplied with the short-term memory. Point is clear, everyone? Done? So in this way, the LSTM will work. Everyone is clear? The theory part and mathematical part, everything. And finally, updated value will be shared to the next neuron. Common. Finally, what are the updated values there? Again, don't confuse with this one. Just it is multiplying with the previous value. The notations might be different. Just you have to understand what are the value into the present value. It is just multiplying sigma WXI plus B. Whatever you see, it is sigma WXI plus B only. The notations will be different. But the concept will remain same. Now, finally, it is going to give the output, that is short-term memory updation, long-term memory updation. Short-term memory updation will be given to the next short-term memory. Long-term memory updation will be given to the next long-term memory. Points are clear, everyone? Now here the third gate. What are the third gate is that we run the sigmoid layer, which parts of the cell state are going to the output. And we put the cell state that tan H. What are the tan H between -1 to +1? Multiply by the output of the sigmoid gate. And the parts will be decided. Right? Whatever I have explained the step now, that one only. Continuation part. Either this will be updated. Observe the second gate. In the second gate, long-term memory is getting updated. In the third gate, short-term memory is getting updated. In the second one, long-term memory. Can you see the line of long-term memory? This is getting updated in the second gate. In the third gate, short-term memory is getting updated. Either second gate or third gate. Clear, everyone? Sir, what about the both of them? When the long-term memory is getting updated, 100% short-term, without short-term, long-term will not be there. Short-term is mandatory automatically. For long-term, short-term will be mandatory. Okay. Ignoring long-term, directly only short-term possible, but by ignoring short-term, long-term is not possible. Leela Krishna, your questions are clear? Everyone is clear? Now, let us see the coding part of LSTM. Is there any use of what is the difference between RNN versus LSTM? Is RNN will store only the short-term memories. LSTM will store the long-term memories. Now, coming back to the same question of earlier, I told you the TCS example. One, if you remember TCS example, I told you. Second, your 10th class memories I have told you. In the TCS example, if I'm able to remember in my brain the TCS performance and the last quarters of 10 years, if I take the 10 years performance, 10 years means every year 4 quarters will be there. 10 years into 4 quarters means 40 quarters data will be there. If I observe all the 40 quarters data and if I take the decision from that, then I'm working on the long-term dependency. Short, just I want to see on based on the latest quarter results only means it is short-term. Okay. So based on the values, that is for TCS. Second, your 10th class memories I asked to recollect now. In your 10th class, what happened means whichever you have given the more weightage for that particular memory. Okay. For example, in my 10th class, I have spent in our college, in our school days, what happened in the 10th class, miss? We have beaten the warden, sir. Okay. So by taking one bed sheet on him, one night fully, we have made a round to our warden, sir. He is very strict and he has beaten unnecessarily some students. So to take the revenge, something we have done. That memory I can remember. Lifelong I can remember. Why, miss? That is for us, it is a special one. Never in our life we have done like that. Okay, only for that particular person only we have done like that. And that too, he is something different. He is not a good person or something we felt at that time. Okay, finally we have done something. Now, whatever we have done this kind of incident, that incident is there now. On that particular day of incident, either we have felt very differently or nervous or what happens next day or something will be there, right? Then more amount of weightage we have given to our brain. Because beating one person is very simple. To face that consequences, after the next day, the things will be there. Na? That night, automatically we'll discuss that one only. Na? Continuation will discuss what to say. You have to say this one. I have to say this one. You have to say this one, like this, something. The more weightage we have added for that incident. When we added the more weightage for that, automatically what happened? It has stored in the long-term memory. But the sentences I can't remember, but the scene I can remember. Whatever we have discussed among our friends, I can't remember. Which friends are involved also I can't remember right now. But I can remember in which building, which area it was done, and to whom we have done. All these things I can remember in my brain because those has been stored in my long term. Because that one only I have done for multiple times epoch by giving them more weight. I have created one story in my brain. Okay, this one, like this, something I have created. So how my brain works in that way means this is the one. Like that in your memories also, how your 10th class memories, your memory was stored in that way means that is something special was done. And you have think about that one more number of times. When you are thinking more amount of times, epochs will be done. When the epochs are more, automatically weight updation will be done. And when the proper weight is added for that, automatically that importance will go into the brain. Now from this, now you have to understand in which case we'll learn more. Now you have to decide how this activation functions, how to give the more weights. Now the subject also has to go to the brain. What to do? In the same way, my subject has to go into the long-term memory means what to do. My entire Gen AI course has to go into the long-term memory. What to do? You decide now. Automatically, you'll understand the answer. Once you follow, automatically it will be stored in the long-term memory. Right, guys? Everyone? Yes. To store everything in the long-term memory is possible means 100% is possible if you try. If you try. Okay. The main advantage of our brain is unlimited data. Einstein only, he has used only 4% of the brain, it seems, as per the statistics. Now, sir, sometimes we'll say I have used 100%. 100% brain usage is very impossible. Okay, just if you want, you can check in the Google how much brain was utilized by Einstein. He only used 4%, it seems. Okay, so 100% more things can be stored in the brain. Only thing is not in a single shot. When you try to send the information long-term memory to your brain in a single shot, the weight is not sufficient. The weight has to be increased. The weight has to increase multiple times, means it has to be epoch. That is revision. Same thing if you do multiple times now, automatically it will go into the long-term memory. That is the reason our elder people will say, what are the things you want to do with a discipline for more number of days. At least 21 days, 41 days, something they will say like this. Why they say 21 days, 41 days means once it is trained continuously like that and it was done with the epochs to our brain, automatically it will store in our long-term memory and you will get a habit of doing that. They used to say like this. Just I'm trying to correlate. If it is not working, means just ignore. Is the points are clear, guys? So from here, we'll continue in the tomorrow's class. And make sure that you are storing the maximum amount of information in your long-term memory. And understand how to store that. 100% you will see the result. Okay, understand LSTM properly and understand how to store in the long-term memory.